Welcome back to the Mind of Monty podcast with your co-hosts.
Oh man,
Your boy Monty G and I Mo, and we're gonna talk to you about wrestling and things in wrestling.
you gotta stop there too.
First topic.
I feel like we have the same intro every week when you do that. That's the only reason why I'm saying it.
Don't you like consistency?
No, not in a podcast. This is audio.
It's an intro.
But it shouldn't be the same. That's all. The intro is very vital, by the way. I be wanting to crack people up like in the first minute of my show, but it's hard. I'm not gonna act like I'm a comedian. I'm not good at it. Go ahead. You said wrestling and things. I'm just saying when you keep doing that. I've heard the same phrasing in the last 2-3 shows. That's the only thing I'm saying.
All right, let's just start off the conversation. Misdirection. I guess I don't have hands that know how to misdirect.
Misdirection.
Yeah, ask a magician. It's a thing.
Okay.
Big E is now our WWE Champion.
Hey. Nick's always louder than I think. Anyway, shout out to Big E, man. This is a great moment. I have to say this about this though, like WWE just don't ever want to surprise us no more because they care so much about these little puny ratings. I'm talking mess, like the ratings don't matter, but that's just like the bitter television major in me, I guess. Whatever. But anyway, the ratings do matter, of course. So I understand the move. I just wish we can. I mean, don't you miss those good old days when it was just Money in the Bank cash in came out of nowhere? The pop was still great. Everyone still loved seeing Big E win the title. I think I was the moment, the way they did it. It wasn't the greatest cash in situation because I still don't even know what the hell happened to Bobby leg out of nowhere. Like he put Randy through a table post his match, and then next thing you know he's limping, and that was just made Bobby look like, oh, Bobby, Big E just told you can't. Come on, Bobby, you got to be smarter. But I do, but honestly, it was a great moment, the big ending for the victory, and just looking at how happy he has been. Seeing him on SmackDown the same week, and just seeing the reaction there on that show, and just seeing how happy he seemed to be. He's just running, shaking everyone's hand, holding the belt up. Social media was in an uproar, but it was an uproar in happiness. Because it was workers from everywhere. I saw Will Hobbs. I saw all types of people, members of the Dark Order. No matter what company, Big E. Just if you think AEW and WWE wrestlers have problems with each other, if you didn't listen to Kenny Omega's quote a week ago or a few weeks ago about how he has friends in WWE and it's not that serious, he don't understand wrestling tribalism. Well, Big E is another great example of why wrestling tribalism is some of the stupidest thing I can ever think of. Like, why are you so starch on it? Why are you acting like this is a war? Or why are you acting like what side you watch more matters? When we all love wrestling, and like I said, you can just tell the wrestlers all love each other. They all love what they're doing. And it's just like anyone who's been witness to this, witness to his rise, witness to his character, witness to who he is as a person, because that's another thing I love about Big E as champion, and Big E just in general. It's his personality that got him here. It's who he is and his starchiness on. No Booker T, I'm not going to change who I am. No, whoever been saying like for years, the only way Big E will ever be taken seriously is if he turn on a New Day. No, he going to do it in the New Day the same way Kofi did it. And even though they weren't, still tag teaming together, they got to share that moment together the same way Kofi did with them. It was just beautiful. It was a great moment. I understood why they did it because it has been a while where we've had two dominant heel champions, so we needed that strong babyface who can, run Raw for the next, however long they continue this reign. So it was just a great moment all around. I can't think of a bad thing to say about it other than maybe, like I said, why do we have to hot shot it? Why do we have to promote it for that extra ratings boost? I hope it worked for their sake. I don't really keep up with the numbers because they don't matter to me. But I'm just saying, I miss a good old fashioned surprise. But I'm still was just pleasantly. I'm not gonna say pleasantly surprised, but I still was pleasantly sitting there witnessing that moment Monday, and it was just a great moment, great week for Big E when you think about it. And I don't know what else to say about it other than just I'm happy for him, and I'm pretty sure just like everyone else has been saying since then, which is all happy for Big E.
I agree. He this is what we've been waiting for. I guess the New Day is still like top of the merch game, as they should be. Because continually every time I go on that website, the only shirts that are not black.
Yeah, the only creative designs are the New
Day.
Days. Yeah. I actually need to add to my New Day merch repertoire because I only got one nice shirt, but the
Two
more the
shirts.
merrier. I got two. Yeah, two. I guess the coat. Yeah, the coat one count. So yeah, the two and so like I can't wait to add to that. But like I think Big E also talked about that and like how it just didn't make business sense to break them up.
It doesn't.
It don't make sense in a lot of areas to break them up. And they still can tell wonderful stories, and they've been doing it. And it's just like you said, I don't think when the New Day was around that anyone think they'll be around this long. But honestly, these guys can retire together,
They can't.
or at least finish with the company together, without ever having to do the traditional angle. So it's just great on all fronts for guys that deserve it. Because if it's one thing I say, I know the entire New Day is happy. Because think about what Xavier has always been saying for years now. At first they all was trying to get Kofi there. Well, they didn't like publicize as much, but I know they wanted it for Big E. You know what I'm saying? I know they wanted a singles push for him. I'm saying everything that they thought probably was gonna come to fruition. Now the only thing left on the bucket list is let's get this King of the Ring for Xavier one day, right?
Hopefully.
Maybe if they ever bring it back.
They're gonna bring. Well, if you remember, I think it was alleged that they were doing a Queen of the
I
Ring.
know they're doing that, right?
So they should
It'd be nice
bring
if they
King
do
of
one
the
too.
Ring back.
Yeah, man, that'll be a dope concept. I don't know why WWE, running away from tournaments, but tournaments we will get to later.
Yes, later. Okay. Next up, Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley was a beautiful champion while we had him. I think you touched on this a little bit.
183 days, I believe, specifically. I don't know. I could be off, but that's around that range.
Very dominant and very entertaining.
Yes.
When I know for us, when Bob was on the screen, we were watching, except for that one patch of time that we don't want to talk about, but we still watched and hoped that he would like hit old dude in the face.
I mean, I honestly, he got me through that. The fact that it was Bob, and I knew I was gonna be outrageous if Bill beat Bob, but Bobby, man, like, come on, he got me through that, especially when he started brutalizing at the head. That was the best part of the match for me.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's keep going.
Yeah.
And beating up his son.
They
Bobby was a G,
they
man.
made Bill sell.
Yes, like
For
Bill
Bobby.
had to sell for somebody. So
For,
like,
not just somebody, for Bobby.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Great champion, man. From all the way from before he even won it. Remember when his United States title run that got him, basically the hot, got him on track to challenge Drew and all of that, take the Miz belt, and then look, I forgot the Miz was even the champion. That shows you how
he was transitional. That's
how
right.
wasteful his cash in was. But anyway,
it wasn't even his to begin with.
it wasn't exactly, but yeah, man, Bob, from that moment, from the United States title run and being in the Hurt Business to even when they wrongfully destroyed the Hurt Business until his title run, he was just on fire and just impressive. And also, I've been seeing I saw a lot of people, or I know that a lot of people have the opinion of Bob that, MVP is what changed him, or not changed him, but MVP helped out tremendously verbally, like on the mic, and that's true. But Bobby Lashley held his own plenty of occasions in a lot better fashion than he did not only during his initial run in WWE, but also even during that first part of when he came back. Because it wasn't necessarily his fault, in my opinion, that the promos didn't work. It's just what they were giving him. And, now once he got his character understood and, everything is where he wanted it, you just got to see him make magic. And I think Bob has always been great in the ring. So it's just it was all about everything coming together. And I think this run right here was when everything came together. The promos worked, the suits worked,
Them
you know what I
taking
mean?
him seriously.
Exactly. Him taking out every babyface. That's another reason why I thought Big E winning was great. Because he took out every babyface that you can even think of on Raw once he beat Randy Orton.
Yes.
He had already beaten anyone else that you can think of.
Like
and,
there
that's a
was
babyface. So
there was no challengers.
exactly. So when you clear the babyface locker room, it's probably a good time for something like that to happen, for the right babyface to come in, and then now we can shift it to where now we have a lot of heels in place. Once Sheamus is done fighting with Priest, Sheamus can go Try Big E at some point. Drew can probably possibly turn back heel. And, or like not even just turn heel, but he can now finally challenge back for the WWE Championship again instead of being lost in the shuffle, just fighting Jinder Mahal.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? No offense to Jinder, because it's not his fault that it seems like they lost in the shuffle, but it's just, no one's going to take it seriously when it's Drew at his level and then Jinder coming from where he was from, especially since he's been absent for so long.
And Shanky.
Yeah, and that name right there. No offense to the big guy doing it, because I don't know much about him, but yeah, it sucks that he got. You just can't even take him seriously from the beginning. Shanky, what? Who is that? Who is Shanky? Can you imagine a Shanky chant? It may happen one day. I'm gonna shut up.
It may happen.
I don't know. Wrestling is weird, but
he may get very over at some
you
point.
never know.
He's big enough.
I don't know.
They had a Kali chant.
Yeah, but and then shoot, I'm not saying it. Who knows? He could. All I want to say is right now, you have a lot to live up to, Shanky, because Omos. Oh my goodness! Every time Omos is on my television doing some wrestling, saying the little things he says, talking about his house, he straight up took Paige gimmick. I saw Paige tweet out, "Can I still say that's my house if I come back or whatever?" No. It looked like she may be targeting January for a comeback somewhere. I don't know if it's gonna be WWE. I think she's still under contract, so maybe that's a Raw Rumble tease. I don't know. We don't know if he'll even come back. It would be nice. But anyway, that's a whole nother topic. Omos, by the way, is just like I said, some of the best TV every time he's on there. So, yeah, if you all the big men, like especially like if you like that big, look at what he's been doing, or at least the way they've been protecting him. I don't know. Maybe WWE know what they're doing at first, but you always got to be weary with the big guys. You know what I mean? They did this with Braun Strowman. Started off at first, oh my goodness, the most entertaining thing you want to see is Braun destroying somebody. And then
over the years.
Over time, it got ruined. I don't think they should do that with Omos. They should just continue to take their time and just keep building them up, because I think he can be a star too. But Bobby Lashley deserves all the flowers he can get for his run, and also just like for the situation in general. Kofi Kingston's reign we all know it didn't end the way we wanted it to end. 8 seconds out of nowhere like that. There's no problem losing to a guy like Brock, especially it's Brock. There ain't nothing wrong with Brock winning. Brock is going to win. But to do it like that in that fashion, like Kofi, is just nothing after all of the months of just working his tail off and the story that y'all told to get him to that point. It's just, I know, it sucked. But to see the way Bobby Lashley lost his title to not only to a cash into the right person, you know what I'm saying? It was history in itself, because that's the first time the WWE Championship has been passed between two African American superstars. So I just think come on, man, that's dope. We witnessed History Monday. You know what I mean? That's history. And then I love what Big E was saying about how he looked up to people like Bobby Lashley coming in, and that's another reason why it was just a great thing to do. So, I love both guys, and overall, I'm just proud of the business that was done there. And I think when you see the rematch, I don't know, maybe they'll have a match at Extreme Rules. I don't know. But Bob is going to come back for his title, and I hope this don't mean that Bobby Lashley has to take a step down. That's the only thing I hope. I hope this don't mean that he's no longer going to be main event almighty Bobby. He should still be just as important, in my opinion.
I don't think that's gonna happen. There's always the possibility that since now we got the New Day in full force on Raw, that the Hurt Business can come back.
They can recruit, yeah.
That's they already feuded a little bit in the past, but a full blown feud for titles. Oh my God, that would be perfect, honestly.
I don't know why they broke him up in the first place, but I'm trying to get off there. I really am. But let's go.
Next week in general is going to be a hot week, but let's talk about AEW. So they have a fancy new title for their week. They're going to go 2 hours on Friday.
Yep.
It's called Grand Slam. I think you said yesterday, AEW has to stop one-upping themselves. Every week or every major thing can't be the greatest something in history.
Well, I mean, and I as much as I was saying it kind of jokingly, that's a great thing in in theory. It's a great thing to always have something going on to the point to where you feel like, oh my goodness, this is the greatest week, or this is the greatest week. And, you can make the case. But what I'm saying is, at some point, like, you can't keep building up every future card as the biggest week in AEW history. But it's masterful promoting. That's how you do it. You promote it as the biggest week. You ain't going to get people to watch or buy if it's not promoted the right way. So, yeah, you got to treat it like it's a big deal. It's just funny how fast a big deal comes back around for AEW. That's all. All Out was the biggest show, was the greatest show in history they were talking about. And now the most important week in AEW history, according to Excalibur, is next week. So it's just like, all right, okay.
All right.
Like, they just continue to keep one-upping themselves. That's a great thing to do if it's true, but I'm just saying it's funny how they promote it. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's very very good. Okay, let's talk about New Japan for a hot sec. The G1 just began on the 18th, which is yesterday. The 18th. I was gonna say which is yesterday, but I don't know what today is, so it doesn't matter. But started on the 18th. We've got some. Let's just break down the bracket, okay? I'm gonna tell you who's in A block. I'm gonna tell you who's in B block, and then I'm gonna get you to decide who's gonna be the whole winner from A block, who's gonna be the whole winner from B block, and who you think is gonna win the whole thing. Okay?
Sure. Let's do it.
All right, starting off, A block, you got Kota Ibushi, Tetsuya Naito, Shingo Takagi, Zack Sabre Jr., Toru Yano, Tomohiro Ishii, Yujiro Takahashi, Tanga Loa, Kenta, and the Great Okan.
So I need to pick who's going to win that block, or do you want me to? Or you going to just go through both? I didn't know how we were going to do this.
It's a lot of names. I'll let you pick. I'll let you pick the first block since I know my memory may not be the best, and I know if I start saying things down here at the B block,
Kota Ibushi will win A block.
Okay.
I think that's the smartest way to do it. It's just everyone else in there seems like a good pick. Even Shingo can win his block. By the way, I just don't, So that's also a capability, a huge possibility, of course, of Shingo. Naito is great in the G1. I just don't know, with Shingo being in the position he is as champion, how deep Naito will actually go. I know LIJ has no problem with fighting each other, so it is what it is. But I just don't see an LIJ versus, I don't see Naito winning the G1 and then going on to face that, even though he's my guy. But Kota Ibushi, though, on the other hand, after his fall from grace, after, not getting the lengthy run that I thought he would get when he was the champion, I think this would be a great moment to get him back on track, especially post injuries and illness. And I know Kota had a lot of stuff going on in the last few months.
All right, B block, we've got Sonata, Taichi, Yoshihashi, Goto, Jeff Cobb, Evil, Tama Tonga, Chase Owens, Kazuchika Okada, and Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Okay, you can never go wrong with an Okada pick, honestly. So I was thinking that for a second there, and then you said a name, and I'm trying to remember which one was it, because it's hard to do this when you list off all these names, by the way.
Goto, Evil.
I don't know why I just forgot that fast. I probably forgot because I didn't want him to win. But yeah, part of me feels like Evil could win this block and make it against Kota Ibushi. Also, like you said, another possible Okada and Ibushi, and Tana. I don't think he'll get to the final. Is Zach in that one? Which one is Zach in? Zach
was
in
in A block.
Zach is in A block. Zach is also always a great option for the G1. This is just his thing. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Evil and Kota Ibushi to finish it off. Because there is no Jay White in this tournament, huh?
There's no Jay White. There's no Will Ospreay.
I knew Will would miss it, but no Jay White and all that is just really throwing me off a little bit. But yeah, because it's certain usual people I've gotten used to seeing on the list. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think Evil can win because I don't know who they don't really book the G1 by characters, like needing a heel and babyface, but at the same time, with it being so many people in the tournament that I consider likable, like even Tai Chi at this point is like he's no longer the heel he used to be. It'd be funny to see Tai Chi make it. I would like Tai Chi to make it, as a matter of fact. Tai Chi and Kota Ibushi. But either way it goes, it's going to be great stuff. That's how the G1 works. So I have no clue. But if that does happen, if my pick happens and it's Kota Ibushi and even Kota Ibushi will win the G1 again. I know some people may think I'm I don't know. I don't know how people would think about that. But Kota Ibushi is one of the best in the world. I just don't see no reason for him to fall down to doing anything else at Wrestle Kingdom other than trying to find a way to get his championship back. Whether it's from Shingo, whether he can find a way to get Will Ospreay back into the country, whatever it is, I think Kota Ibushi needs some type of redemption because the way he lost, it was just, I don't know. It was one of them things. I'm not even going to say it stopped me from watching New Japan, but it kind of make me feel like it stopped me from watching New Japan. It wasn't that. It was so many other reasons why I slowed down on watching New Japan. But if you really think about it, I was on track watching it, Teeth. Mm-hmm. I was on track. Mm-hmm. And then he lost the belt like that, and then it was just like, man.
Yeah, it was messed
But
up.
it wasn't like I said, I don't want to say that one moment is why I failed to keep up. It's just been a lot going on. But, yeah, I'm going with Kota Ibushi. Maybe I'm just picking with my heart because of how I felt when he lost the belt, but we'll see.
I think the G in G1 stands for Goto.
Okay.
We're just forgetting Goto used to be a whole assassin out here.
I think people often forget that too. They don't give him enough credit at all.
Like I remember my first time seeing Goto, like beautiful hair. It was a hair versus hair match with Suzuki. Obviously he won because he got to keep his beautiful hair, but
yes.
Goto. Or I think Okada's been out of the title picture long enough.
Yeah.
It's not a unified belt anymore. It shouldn't be any qualms with him.
My only thing with Okada is that he lost to Shingo. Just shortly. So it's just like you're gonna redo that again. Now Shingo may not be the champion by Wrestle Kingdom, or who knows? He could lose this. Like that's the thing about the G1. You can lose it. They rarely do because the G1 is such a grueling tournament. But injuries happen. There's so many things that can happen.
Yeah, and then Shingo has to lose to a couple people in A Block. Anyway, so out of the people in A Block, who do you think he's gonna lose to in the tournament to set up future title matches?
Let's see. Honestly, if Zach, like I said, Zach is there. Zach is always an upset alert type of guy in these tournaments. Also, I've already, we recording this post the first two nights, so I've already kind of heard that Shingo and Ishii killed it. I don't know who won the match specifically because I'm saving it to go back and watch myself. I know from the beginning when you put them two guys, that's another person. Ishii can win this whole thing if he wanted to, just because of just the way how he fights. No one fights harder than Ishii. Like, man, he's just great. Kenta is a good option. He's a great troll and a great option to get a victory. And I think Yano's in Shingo's block. Is Yano there?
Yes.
Because Yano is always a upset alert type of person too. He can roll up Shingo. I know everyone will be shocked. Oh my goodness, he getting a world title shot. It'll be hilarious to see. But Yano is also a possibility. But most of the time, the champions dispatch of Yano. But yeah,
especially with this, except Naito. Especially with this.
Except Naito, fair.
This new Yano or this old Yano, whichever one you want to call it.
Last time I seen him, his hair is black again. So
he out here just harming his followers.
Yeah, he just went back to black. Yeah, I think I seen. As a matter of fact, he was fighting Kenta first night. I think A Block. He fought Kenta, and I think his hair was black again. So I think that was just for that. I quit match. So Chase Owens pissed him off enough that made him, like you said, harm his hair follicle.
All right. Next up, we're gonna talk about give me one word, but also you're gonna give your rating for these future matches coming up this week. Okay.
Okay, excitement rating, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
First, give me one word to describe how excited you are, how you feel about the New Day versus the Bloodline on Monday Night Raw.
I mean, what's the scale again? 3 out of 3, 5 out of 5, whatever it is, whatever the highest scale. If we're going 1 to 10, that's where we at with this match. I immediately, once he won the title, everyone was already like, "Oh yes, that means in Survivor Series we could possibly get this." Well, we don't have to wait You know what I mean? And that's great. The fact that we may not have to wait on this and we can just get it right on Monday Night Raw. I love the meme that's going around about how the different fan groups, you know what I'm saying? I love how different fan groups talk about, like AEW would say when they see their stacked cards, you know, like Kenny and Bryan. Oh man, they're giving us what we want. And then when WWE do this, now it's about ratings. It's not them giving us what we want. I mean, like, yeah, just sit back, relax, and just enjoy. I'm happy that we're getting this match, and I hope Big E them gets the victory. So that's. Do I need to come up with one word for that too?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I messed that up. Right, I messed it up from the beginning. Oh man. It's just gonna be awesome. I got nothing else but awesome off the top of my head.
All right. Speaking of that meme, next match for you to deliberate on: Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson on Dynamite.
Yeah, max excitement. Also, again, one of those matches that we've all been waiting for. I'm gonna say legendary, and I'm only saying that because of what these two guys have already did before they ever even touched each other in the ring. Whoa! Had to stop myself. Anyway.
There was no reason.
Yeah, but I had to stop myself. Anyway, like I was saying,
wrestlers touch each other in the ring.
Whoa.
Their sweaty, oily bodies touch.
Yeah, no, it's true. I can't really do that about wrestling. It's everywhere, right? You got to touch them.
Like, you cannot be a germaphobe and be a wrestler. You gotta touch somebody's,
man.
and then the people who work on their body. I don't want to touch you with your abs out and stuff. Jade, like, I would be so intimidated. Like, how do you get in the ring and be like, yo, I'm going to suplex you, Jade. You not going to suplex me. Like, I'm going to whoop your ass. And then we going to see how you
challenging Jade right now? Jade will kill you. Oh, who are you talking? You said, I'm going to whoop your ass.
You're not listening. That's fine.
You said, I'm going to whoop. No, all right. Then what I missed?
When I said I'm not, I said I personally am not going to try to fight Jade in her abs. Jade, and that's the person that I was pretending to be when I said, no, you're not going to suplex. Like I said, how do you go up to Jade and be like, hey, I'm going to suplex you? No, she's going to say, you're not going to suplex me. I'm going to whoop your ass. And then we'll see what happens after that. You're not going to suplex her. That's what I was saying.
Right. I figured that because you don't want that smoke. A lot of people don't want that smoke. Undefeated. But anyway, like I was saying, legendary, two legends in their own right. Even when Bryan was in the other company, he would say, like, yeah, he would love to fight Kenny Omega. I remember when Kenny was in Japan, he would say stuff like that. So, this is just one of those matches that's for all of us who want to see. And this is not even for the belt. So this is straight up wrestling. You know what I mean? This is Best Bout Machine versus the American Dragon. So I can't wait. I cannot wait.
All right. Next up, for you to gauge excitement and tell me what you think, Adam Cole and the Young Bucks versus Jurassic Express and Christian Cage.
Yeah. I mentioned this when you asked me who do we think were potential opponents, and I told you Jungle Boy seemed like someone that Adam Cole would focus on, and that seems like where we're going with this. Jurassic Express kind of an elite thing is continued with, of course, with Christian there. And, I think the Bucks and Adam Cole will get a big victory because Adam Cole is still on the comeback train. I don't see him losing necessarily this soon. Not really a comeback, but you know what I mean. His arrival, he's still relatively new to the company. So AEW usually, in my opinion, they will sometimes shock you with certain finishes and all that. It's just I'll be surprised if Adam Cole is losing. If they do lose, he won't be part of it. It'll be one of the baby faces getting the whole of Matt and Nick most likely. But I don't see the Bucks or Adam Cole losing that match. So my one word for that match is elite. So yeah. Because I picked the elite.
Ha 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 ha. Okay.
That's all I got for you.
Speaking that dude in the back that she's banging, Britt Baker versus Ruby Soho after that killer Killer promotion.
that was great stuff. That was great stuff.
On both ends.
Yeah.
Loved it. Now, tell me about it. Who you thinking gonna win? Excitement rating. Give me one word to describe it. All the full gambit.
Yeah. So far, I didn't say my excitement rating for the 6-man. It's probably like a 8 out of 10, maybe. My excitement rating for this match would be definitely in the 9-ish range. I wouldn't say perfect. The only reason why is because, again, it's really, really hard for me to see Britt Baker's reign ending this soon because they built her up before she ever got the belt. And now in the reign, now that the reign has began, they've only continued to build her profile almost, if you see what I'm saying. So it's like, I don't see it ending this soon, personally. So that takes away from kind of the excitement because I think the finish, or I think who's going to win, is pretty much decided. But you never know. Like I said, they throw swerves at you a lot. So, yeah. I think Britt is going to retain. So, my one word is championship. That's all I got for you.
Okay.
Just one word, so I'm giving up on trying to be creative.
We talked about this while watching Rampage. They did the old school book, and Ruby, don't ever pick up the title if you challenging for it. You gonna lose. Don't stand in the ring. You gonna lose.
According to old school booking, yes. Yeah.
But I agree. Ruby's probably gonna lose. It's a great story. Like, love it. Love all of the things that's going on there. And
it's personal enough that they can do it again down the line or whatever. You know what I mean? So Ruby is not completely out of the picture.
Exactly. Next up, Shingo Takagi versus Zack Sabre Jr.
That's not fair. When are they doing it?
The 23rd.
Oh, man. Anyway, 10 out of 10 excitement and contrast is the one word because this is a contrast of styles. You got submission, you got technical masterpiece creator in Zach, and then you got one of the most physical, hard-hitting dudes not only in that company but just in the world right now, in the world champion Shingo Takagi. So I'm going with Shingo to win it, and my excitement is maxed out because anytime especially in the G1, because that means they're just going to get a chance to do what they have to do. They're probably going to be the main event with Shingo being his champion, too. Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be a great match. So, yeah, my excitement, 10 out of 10.
One word?
My one word is contrast. Contrast in styles.
All right, last one we're going to do, Naito versus Tonga Loa. Obviously, I picked this because I'm biased, but I just want
You really are. You already know who's winning. You know who's winning. It's over with. I love you, T.
Is it, though?
I love you, T. It's over. That's all I got to say about that. My excitement, Naito. My excitement, I'm not gonna cap like I'm super duper excited because I'm finna disrespect he gonna lose. It's over. It's like this is squiggity squash most likely. So I'm going with 7. Naito, Destino, about 7 minutes, 8 minutes. It won't take too long. Yeah, I just played you, T.
So your one word.
It's probably gonna be fun. It's probably gonna be fun. Now, don't say that. I don't want nobody to think I'm saying it's a squash. Because I'm pretty sure T gonna have his moments because he's explosive. He's gonna be great, but I just don't see him beating Naito. So I will say, man, what's the term? What's the term when it's like when it's decided already? Like one, who gonna decided before you get there. A squash.
Predetermined.
No, not that either. I don't want to use that word. Predetermined is the right one, but it's just like. It's another word I'm thinking of, I guess. It's not unpredictable. It's actually very predictable. Anyway, predictable. How about that? Whatever. Either way it goes, Naito is winning. That's why I hate one words, because I have a word. I probably just made up the word that mean what I think it means in my mind. It probably don't even exist. Like you said, you probably just gave me the 2 words that actually logically come up. So the point I'm saying is that we all know Naito is going to win. How we going to get there is the interesting part. I'm biased, though. Y'all know I'm an LIJ Mark. I'm Naito. That's my guy. So, it's Bo Dallas, Naito. I'll never pick against. I need to add to that list because I know y'all like Bo Dallas.
Yeah.
And Naito.
Yeah. We gotta revise that later.
Bo don't even wrestle no more.
Last up, sir. Last up. We're gonna talk about the episode that took the IWC by storm last Thursday and Friday. It was so controversial. The Dark Side of the Ring episode focusing on the infamous plane ride from hell.
Yeah. The reaction to what happened was very controversial. I saw a lot of people who probably didn't have any privy to the information in the past find out a lot of new stuff, learn a lot. I'm gonna be honest, even to someone like me who've always heard this story, I was one of those people not necessarily watch, like, I didn't watch a WWE story time and find it out. Like, I literally was watching shoot interviews from X-Pac and other people who were on the plane who was talked about it many, many years ago or many, many years since. They just continued to kind of talk about what happened. And they've always talked about it very, very jovial, very, very like, the boys were being the boys that night, or it was just a wild night that kind of got out of control type of explanation. I've never really heard it explained the way Dark Side of the Ring explained it. I don't know why my phone decided to notify me at that moment out of all the times to do it. Anyway, like I was saying, I never really got the perspective that Dark Side of the Ring gave me, which is the perspective of the abused, of the people who were just trying to do their jobs that day, and then you get the details of what was going on and how people were, you could just see it once they were stranded for 7 hours, and as they started to retell the story on Dark Side of the Ring, you can just see where everything was going to go left. You know what I mean? Because, like, once you have a bunch of people who just running through liquor, and they already could have been on anything you can imagine, especially when you think about what they found on the plane post everyone finally getting off. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you don't get the name The Plane Ride from Hell without it actually being it. But like I said, it was never talked about and promoted to that extent, especially by WWE and even by certain wrestlers who were involved. They've never really talked about it to that extent in that way. And even if that stuff was reported, the legal stuff, the legal battles with the person who was abused. I want to say her name. What is her name?
Heidi.
Is it?
Yeah, it's Heidi.
Okay, I thought it was about somebody else.
They didn't. The other person didn't.
I just know it was more than one. So anyway, okay, good. So either way it go, so like to see everything that she went through, it's just like it was just messed up. It's just like you hear it straight from her mouth, everything that happened, from her perspective. You got people like RVD there. Like, we got to give RVD some credit. He was one of the people there who just was him and JR. You could tell, not that they don't look fondly. I don't know if RVD laughed at a couple of things that day. Who knows? He's one of the boys too. But he definitely knew that things were out of control. He was the one who corrected them. Was like, nah, it was a fifth grade, not high school football team. It's fifth grade. They were acting like kids. They were stupid. And he was talking about how he was forthcoming about how H-bombing, how prevalent that was back in the day, and basically roofing people and how wrestlers would have their way with local girls back in the day in certain places that he had worked. Like, that story stuck out to me, and like just how forthcoming he was and how you can just kind of tell. Like, I've seen a lot of people joking about it. RVD was ready to air people out, and that's exactly what it was. RVD was like, you know what? Y'all was tripping. Y'all gonna ask me about it. I'm gonna tell you what I saw. And they had idiots like Tommy Dreamer. Oh my goodness, I don't ever want to see a microphone in front of his face. If it is, I don't want nothing. I'm not interested in anything Tommy Dreamer ever had to say again, because people like that we gotta get them the fuck out of here. You gotta stop listening to people like that. We cannot let people like that have a platform. We can't let people like that produce matches involving women, or doing anything that involves women, if that's how it works with them. If you automatically dismiss everything you hear about something because of whatever your relationship is with Rick, or whatever you thought about Ric Flair before this, for you to dismiss what someone is claiming, for you to say that why did she take the payout then? If it really was that bad, you should have went through the justice system. That sounds like an idiot. And anyway, everything he said just made me sick. He deserved more than a suspension. I'm the type of person, suspensions don't teach you nothing when it comes to that type of stuff. Like, if he off salary for a while, he gonna do the fallback. That's all this is. The fallback. Next thing you know, he gonna be producing something in like 6 to 7 months, and y'all gonna act like ain't nothing happened. I already know how this goes. So all I'm saying is that people like that is dangerous. You do not want, if you are a woman and you know that it's dudes like that around you, I feel bad because I can only imagine how hard it is for you to be forthcoming and speaking your truth on how you felt, how uncomfortable you felt. Tommy Dreamer felt like just because some of the other stewardess were partying with them, that everything that Ric Flair did was fine, basically.
Yes.
Or that it's just no truth whatsoever that Ric Flair, forced her. You weren't back there. You don't know that. Like RV did. Why did it take Dustin to move him out the way then? If he was not causing her any problems, why you got a woman cornered in a tight place like that while you're naked? Think about that. That's stupid. That's just dumb behavior that I can't ever excuse. And anybody who trying to vouch and be like, oh man, it's this and that, you a piece of trash too. And that's how I feel about it. Anybody who can find a way to justify sexual assault of any type of kind or I don't care if it's just uncomfortable. If you can make a woman or anybody feel uncomfortable sexually when it comes to that, you got a problem. And I'm going to call you out on your problem, even if it costs me my job. And JR was like, that's a good question. Ric Flair was a made man, the reason why he didn't get any punishment from this. But think about that. Think about how many made men. Think about how many people in power get away with this stuff all the time because of that logic right there. Because, oh, man, he too good for business. Keep it on the hush. Look at McMahon trying to look at the company paying people to shut up about stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's crazy. That type of behavior, all that enabling is why this stuff continues to happen. It's why people feel like they have the control over other people to do whatever the hell they want. Because he knew it won't be no repercussions. I'm Ric Flair. Well, if anybody don't want to do business with Ric Flair anymore, if anybody don't want to, support Ric Flair the same anymore, it's well bleeping deserved, if you see what I'm saying. There's no point in me not cussing right there. But still, it's well deserved. And it's just getting me aggravated just thinking about it, mostly because of what Tommy Dreamer was saying, because stuff like that is why we have decades upon decades of just people being able to throw their weight around and do whatever they want, because there's other people just looking up, oh, my goodness, it's Ric Flair. Oh, my goodness, it's Hulk Hogan. It doesn't matter what you do outside of whatever. You're a legend. You're blah, blah, blah. Shut up. Hold everybody accountable. And quit putting these people just because you watch them wrestle. You watch them in their draws, they do their job all their life, and you think, oh, you just know them. You don't know that. You don't know nothing. You don't know what Ric Flair was capable of, Tommy Dreamer, just based on what you knew about him as a person, because none of us do. You can be around a person all your life and then find out some messed up stuff about him and then just not even know when it comes to that type of stuff, if you see what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
I've been in classes, all types of stuff with people. Then I hear a news report, I find out something that happened. I'm just like, wow, really? You don't know what nobody capable of because you work with them or because you see them around, if you see what I'm trying to say. I don't care who they are. But yeah, we're going to leave it at that because obviously I'm still aggravated about that. But we got to get people, any enabler, get the fuck away from me and get the fuck away from the women in my life and just women in general, people in general. And that's it.
And I agree. Like, just to put an extra stamp on it, I agree with everything that has been said. It is just discussing that, and again on my little soapbox, women have to do so much to just be believed, and then they get victimized for saying, oh, well, you should have said something sooner. Oh, well, you shouldn't have taken the money. But I have to do so much just to be believed,
right,
in a situation where there were multiple witnesses.
Yeah.
And you still saying, oh, well, it must have been something that you did. No.
Think about all the people who wanted to shut her up. Her husband shut her up. Her bleeping employer wanted her to shut up.
Exactly.
Like, just think about that. It's so many people just wanted them to leave it alone. It never happened. And she the only one that just got to continue to live with it.
And that's only with women. You don't. Only with women when things like this happen, to where I know it can happen with men, but to where like you really have to fight in order to be seen as a actual person that has experienced actual trauma. And it's sad the way Heidi looked.
Yes, you can tell she's still affected by it.
She has nightmares. That's post traumatic stress.
Yeah.
That was traumatic for her.
She's still shaking up to this day.
Exactly. So, just be better as humans. Not saying that people who listen to this podcast are trash, but I'm saying like as a whole, we as people need to be better of listening and making people feel comfortable when it's time for them to actually address things that have happened to them. It shouldn't automatically be, well, oh, you got the payout, so you must not be suffering.
Right. Or it's like, oh man, what's taking you so long to say something? It's been 20 years. Shut up. You know what I mean? You didn't have to live with this for that long. You didn't have people telling you or paying you to be quiet. You didn't have this and that. You know what I'm saying? You don't understand a lot of times. A lot of people don't. And then, like I said, a lack of empathy is just evident in many areas in our lives.
Yes.
You know, no one wants to put themselves in other people's shoes and just shut up. Like a lot of times, the way you feel about something just don't even matter. I know. I promise. If you out here defending Ric Flair because you just, I promise your opinion don't matter, especially to me. But anyway, I'm going to get on to the last segment of the day, which is probably going to continue to be my last segment of the day, at least weekly around here. Because, hey, man, let's talk about these Seahawks. Let's go, man. We killed the Colts last week. Hey, I got my homeboy. I love you, bro. But, we kicked the Colts' ass, bro, and it was easy. Easy peasy, like as Oscar would say, 4 TDs, 254 yards for rush. He only had like what 5 incompletions? Man, almost had the same amount of touchdowns as incompletion. Like I said, we made it look easy. My boy Tyler Lockett, 4 catches, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. One was just so beautiful, and then DK caught a TD. But I just want to go ahead. Y'all already know. By the way, I'm not one of those delusional people. I'm not gonna pick us to go 16, 17, or whatever. But we do play the Titans this week, and I ain't gonna lie, the Titans got their ass whooped last week, so they probably gonna try to hit us hard. But we at home, so let's go Hawks. So that's my evening game. We're gonna take them out, and we'll see what happens. So balanced, man. Seattle this year, man. We got our running game right now. We got the pass game just easy. Like we seem like we can do whatever we want. Now that was against the Colts. We'll see how I go against Tennessee. But yeah, I think that's all I got for like the Seahawks corner this week. I don't really got nothing else I can say. I'm just gonna keep recapping and telling y'all how I felt because I watched most of enough of that game. I ain't gonna say I watched most because they was on at the same time that Pittsburgh and some of the other early games was on. So we was flipping through. But yeah, as the season continues to go on, we're gonna continue to start. I'm gonna continue to keep up with the Seahawks. That's the only thing I can promise right now, because keeping up with the entire league, I don't know if I'm down to do that the same anymore. We'll see in future references. But for all my Hawks fans out there, yeah, man, we got it. I don't know, maybe I think we're gonna win like 11 games, 11, 12 games possibly. But our division, hardest division in the league, all of us undefeated right now. Everybody went 1-0 last week. So we got a tough division. So really what happens to Seattle is going to be determined by how we navigate that division, because we got Stafford to deal with now in L.A. 49ers are coming back, looking good on offense. They got 2 quarterbacks now for some reason. And don't get me started on the Cardinals. That's the scariest team in my division, honestly. So we can end up 4th and still be like 8-9 or something at the end, or like 9-8. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, that probably won't get us to the playoffs, but still, like, that's how good the division is. You can win 9 games this year probably, and be 4th place. That's how good they are. So we'll see. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully we won't be the one that end up in last place. Hopefully we continue to power through. But we'll see. Go Hawks. Go Hawks. Go Hawks. Go Hawks. All right. Well, on that note, I only have one more thing to say. Oh, do you have anything you want to say?
No.
All right. Peace and posterity. Posterity?
Prosperity.
Peace, y'all. Adios.